in parts 1 and 2 of our series, we worked on our, setting up our theme and our scaffolding, getting our project up and running on Turbo. In 3 and 4, we started working on our building out our data, dynamically passing that to our mustache templates, and kind of expanding our app instead of just boring static HTML. And this is where we kind of left off. So if you go to a building, a building has many apartments. It's like the terminology for the using like relational database technology. So a building has many apartments, and an apartment belongs to a building. So when you go to the building page here, we have this slug up top, and what that does, if I jump back to our app real quick, you go to our API index.js. Okay, so it matches this route, and then we take that route and we search Turbo for the building, which we get by the slug, and then when we get that ID, we search again on Turbo for all apartments that have that same ID. So if we go into our data store here, each apartment has a parent building, and that's what we query by, and that's how we get this list of apartments here. Now this looks pretty bad, so what we're going to do is twofold. What we're going to do is fix this up a little for styling, and at the same time we've done a lot of GET requests. We're fetching our apartments, we're creating them. There's really one main other I guess there's really two, but basically we want to be able to update them. It's kind of one of the methods we haven't gone over yet. So there's 4, I guess, like basic like HTTP request methods that are like the most common. There's much more. There's probably like 10 at this point. I don't really pay attention, but there's GET. So like every time we go to something, it's a GET. When we submit a form, that's a POST. When we want to update something, we're going to use what's called a put request, or a put or a patch, but I think put's more common. And there's a delete request, but from my understanding, it's not commonly used, the delete request, because typically you don't want to actually delete something. Usually you're kind of like updating the object and saying, does this object exist? And you'll update it and say it's false, because you don't want to like really like very clear data. I mean, maybe if you're, I don't know, Facebook or a bank company dealing with some sort of privacy thing, maybe, but like for most regular websites, I don't think like they're really actually deleting. They're just marking it delete in their database. So that's a put request. But anyway, that's the third kind of request. And so what we're going to do, like to do a 2-in-1, is we're going to style this as the style these as like form elements so that they can update them. So if we think of it as like from the prospect of the client, they're going to come in here and go to the page, and it'll be basically a form pre-filled out, and they could change stuff, change the price or change some of the listing data, and it'll update on the website. And then later on maybe we could do that in the next video, actually lock it down, like password protected, and so they'll have an admin account, and Turbo has a user data store, so we could probably knock that out in a video. But to get started, if you run back to our theme, and let me just make sure I'm recording, not just talking to myself, which I do sometimes, but okay. So let's go to our theme. /theme, and then it's gonna be hard to see. You go to the elements, or I mean, if you're using different theme, just look around, find something. Form elements, and they have some pretty decent, like basic looking forms. So I actually just looked at this before, so that's why I'm scrolling kind of quick. What I'm gonna do is, what's this? Oh, I want to use this date thing later too. I don't want to do this yet because I'm not exactly 100% sure how we store a date in Turbo, so I have to check that if it's stored in an actual date, like a Unix timestamp, or if there's like a date object, so that's one thing I'm gonna circle back on. But this is a good example of using a form. Like let's say I could say the apartment is available May 12th. Like this is nice. I would save a lot of time and like looks good to the client. But we want to use this number inputs for like the bedroom, bathroom, that kind of stuff. And then we also want to use just this form element type stuff. So I got my things here. First thing I'm going to do is go to my views directory, partials, and last time we made this building page and we looped through the apartments and render this stuff. So I'm going to take this stuff. Remember, this is loop start, loop end. And we're going to just render in the middle here, say render apartment edit. And later on what we'll do is we'll basically say if admin render this, else render like a non-editable one. So that's where the partials will come in. So if we go to, what is this, building.mustache, let's just make it partial, yeah. And let's take this, paste it in, and the reason we do that is we just want to make sure that it's still working, which it is, so our form is pulling through. And I'm going to jump back to our theme here, and what we're going to do is grab this, just going to paste this underneath here, and I'm going to refresh again. Alright, so we got that showing up, and what we want to do now is, and we have it right here, but I just want to be certain, check our data store. Data store, where are you? I think I was just there. Data store. And go to apartment to see the fields we have to update. Now, I'm not gonna. It's just gonna be too annoying. Like to have them update the building. You know, like if you want to move from one page to another or something. Yeah, we could, but I just don't think it's the best use of time now. But like these ones are pretty easy to update. Bed, bath, availability, price, description. Bed, bath, ability, price, description. Okay, so everything's pretty straightforward here. So I'm gonna take these. Yeah, so the only one we're missing is this description. I'll just put that there as like a little note. So the way this form works is it looks like it's built with Bootstrap. So they have this like these columns. So each row is usually going to be a column. So what we do is we can change the size of these columns to fit a number in a row. So for example, if I change this to 10 and this to 2, and you refresh, see that size? So it's like 12 columns, like 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 10. So that's kind of how that works. So if we want to do more in a row, we just have to change the size so it adds up to 12. And then this has built-in breakpoints and stuff, so Bootstrap's nice to use. A lot of these themes are built on some sort of engine like that. Okay, so description. Okay, so let's skip the num bed, num bath, and just start with the price, availability. Let's start with the description. So that one's actually going to be a text area. So div class equals and I'm going to just add them all to 12 for now, and then we'll throw in some padding at the end. So it's going to look ugly for now. Col small 12. I'm going to say text area And so this is the important part here. So when we update this form, we want to A, make sure we're submitting to the right place, and B, we want to make sure that if for some reason the user doesn't fill out a field, it should be pre-populated. So that's kind of the tricky part here. So what we do is, so for example, text area, we're going to say name equals, and we have to make sure it matches exactly from our server. And so I said it's description. And then here, where you put your starting description, I'm just going to do this. So if we refresh the page, like here, when we load it, it's already pre-populated. So that way, let's say they go and they just change one thing and hit enter, we're sending that data back. So it's a pretty nice, good user experience, good edit field. So that's that. And then again, remember, make sure these names match exactly. So name, okay. And then these, I'm just going to each give a col of 4. 4. 4. And what we're going to do is, I should give this one a label. $12, 4, 4. So here, this is going to say price. I'm just leaving that as text for now. Eventually, that should be maybe a number, so you can do sorting and whatnot, but for now, that's fine. Name is going to be price. And placeholder. So we don't need a placeholder. That's like that gray text that kind of like disappears. What we need is a default value. And that is going to be our price. Then numbeds. Say bedrooms. Bathrooms. And now this, again, I looked at the elements before, so you say, oh, how do you find it so fast? I'm cheating. So if you go back to our theme here, this is what we want to use, this little like number box. I feel like it's kind of a good UI. So I'm just going to really take their code here and paste it in, take class input number and code. Okay, so that should be okay. I'm just going to see if it's like rendering right now. Yeah, that's pretty good. I'm like, it's kind of, I think it needs to be a little smaller though, to be honest. So I'm going to do 3, 3, a little better, and what is this availability one? I think it might have been a Boolean. No, no, yes. Okay, I think it's a string, but the idea is a Boolean, yes or no, or we could do a date one. Maybe I'll throw in the date box for now, just to see if it sends, and then if it's just not working or taking too long, we'll get rid of it. So actually, this could be a cool idea. The only thing is, I'm thinking like if it's stored as a string or however it's stored on the server, it might be hard to populate on the client side. Actually, I'll show you what I'm talking about quick. So we have these fields here, right? And numbed, numbath, price, availability. All right, so I got them all. So what we want to do is, again, our value here is the price. And here our default value with these little counters, I'm going to say we want to use the data from our template, numbed, numbath, and let's just like here also we can set like the min max 1 to 10. I'll I'll give a 0 for bed in case it's like a studio. Bathroom, there should be a bathroom. I don't think anyone has 10, but I don't think it's... You never know, I guess. Alright, let's refresh this. And so when you come in here, now we have all this data is coming pre-populated from the server side. So just to refresh, if we go to our Turbo data store, for example, this apartment here, that is showing up, 3100, great apartment, whatever. So if I just come in here and edit this and say, edit our dashboard, it's all updated. So we're just basically doing the same thing, but now client side. So we need to send our requests off to the server. And what I'm going to do is the same as before. So on this building.mustache, was it? Form action to slug, method post. We're doing the same thing, except we just have to have a different location. So I know I mentioned earlier about the put request, but the HTML forms actually can only take, if you look, well, hold on, let me give it an action. See, there's only get or post. So we're going to use a post, and then technically when we send it to Turbo, they do a put request to the data store client side. But here, where do we want to submit it to? So last time we submitted our like building app, our building creation to this //slug. Oh, that's to create the apartments. We are sending them to //slug, posting to the building itself. But for a I'm just realizing we have this whole form here I should just be reusing. That's fine. We'll get too complicated anyway because we're trying to pre-populate all this stuff. But the formatting should really be the same. There's probably some reuse available. Anyway though, but there we are posting to the building's slug page as a variable. Now what we want to do is post to the apartment /ID. Like this is just like standard REST. But to get this ID, luckily we have, I just want to see something here. Okay, yeah, so apartment, then we can get the actual ID. So the user doesn't know that like the ID of the apartment, because that would be a bad UI if they had to type in that 25-digit string. You know, this is their ID. If they, because you need this to update it, so Turbo knows what to update. So if they need this to update, that would be a very bad UI. So obviously we're not requiring that. So we can do that up here because we already know that ID. So we need a button too. That would help so we can submit. Let me just refresh quick. Alright, so we have our button. Again, I'm not really going for style points today. It's good enough that we can throw in some colors and stuff. It'll be fine when we come back. So this is posting to apartment and the variable ID. So what we gotta do is come into our routes file. And same as here, we had building slug, and this is a parameter with this like variable thing. We can do router dot get building slug. apartment, this is going to be non-variable, and then the ID here is going to be variable, and then we got to pass it a function. And you may have noticed what is wrong here. And this has to be a post. So let's just make sure we're getting our stuff. So I'm going to log, well, let's just say let id equal rec.params.id. And then I'm going to say let body, or let new apartment equal rec.body, the form body, and then I want to console log both of these. Okay, and let's just return so our browser doesn't get stuck. And let me check our. Okay, so we want to see some stuff in that console is my point. So I hit that. Price, 0, quantity. I think I didn't update our forms with our proper names. So, okay, name, price, that looks right. And that came through. Okay, so this says name quantity. That's not what we want. And okay, yeah, so that's why it's sending it through as an array, because we have 2 quantity fields. We just got to fix that to num bed, and fix this one to num bath. Let's see if the other stuff came through. Not sure why my. Oh, gonna get hung up on that request. Okay, let's refresh. Okay. So we got our description, price, numbed, numbath. That looks pretty good. Let's just check the Turbo documentation quick and see what they need. Do store. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to check the docs. Okay. Fetch one, no. Fetch. I assume it's called update. Oh, here we go. Update entity. Turbo.update entity. So we need the resource name, which is going to be apartment. The ID, which is going to be, we have that rec.params ID, and the parameters of that body we just logged. So I think we're good to go here. So let's go to our route and wait, is that the whole? Try to figure out what the difference between update entity is and update. I think. Okay, update. Add new 2 fields. Okay, so let's just try this and just see what happens. I think that's the best way to do it. Model ID param. So it's going to be apartment. ID, which is right direct.params.id, which we're passing in from our form. And the param is going to be new apartment. And then data catch error res dot I think I'm just going to send him back to the same page. Basically to go back to that page we need the slug, and I just don't feel like writing all the logic to fetch that slug right now. So I think the better idea would be next time to save when we create the apartment under the building, instead of giving it just an ID, we should also give it a building slug. And we can use that to go back, but I don't want to get into that right now. So let's just redirect to the home page. And if an error, redirect them to the error page, which I don't know if we made yet, but use partials. We usually have an error page. Well, I'm just going to send them home for now. Okay, so cannot get. Let's go back to our form. Well, let's do some updates here. That's some random thing. I forgot I was messing around before and I sent that one to 300 bathrooms, and I think the input was giving me an issue before, so I just switched her out. Just put in some data. Okay, so what we want to do is, because we're just redirecting home either way, we want to go into our Turbo dashboard and see if we actually updated this or if there's an issue. So let's go back to our dashboard here. We go to our data store. No, I'm in the documentation. Go to our data store. Go to apartments. Okay, so it worked. See, best part ever. It's also my whatever. So now when I refresh this page, or we go back to it, I think it was this one. Everything's already pre-filled out. So this is what I was saying before with the forms. Like, it's a pretty good UI. So we're getting all our data from the back end, pre-filling out the forms. If you want to come here and change one field, it's only going to change that one field. So I'm pretty pleased with this. I do want to do pictures. So if we go to our, actually I'm gonna pause for 1 second. I actually have some pictures. So if you guys give me 1 second, I'll pause and grab them so we can work with some real stuff. So just hold on 1 second. Hopefully I remember how to pause this. Alright, hold on. Okay, so I have this Google photo album here they sent me with some pictures. So I'm just going to pick out like 3 or 4 for now, just because I want to use the CDN. So how do I use Google Photos now? Okay, let's select one. Oh yeah, I think I can minimize this. Okay, so I can select like this. To be honest, this is for these two apartments. I'm not sure which is which, so I'm just gonna guess for now. Maybe we should give an option to edit photos then. Alright, you get the idea, so I'm not gonna. Let's see if I could just download this quick. Alright, so that's downloading. So if you go to like any static assets, like so your CSS, JavaScript, uh, fonts, and most importantly, well, I mean, I guess the JavaScript's important now too. Some of these bundles are larger. Most importantly, though, is the photos. So the photos, especially, you want on a CDN. So you do not want to be serving up the photos from your own like public directory just because it's going to be slow. So Turbo has a built-in CDN. So what you can do is if you go to your dashboard, storage, you go to upload file. And you can just pick one or two real quick. I'm only going to do a few for demonstration purposes. So you upload your thing, and let's do this one. And then if you click right here, like this link here is our link to the photo from a CDN. So if you look, if I just hit this link here, that's pretty fast. Like that's why we use a CDN. So 1 second. So we want to grab these links. I'm trying to think how I want to do this. Like how to do this with a good UI. One option is to have the user upload the photos themselves with drop zone. I just think that'll be maybe another video. Let's just do this for now, just to get working with some photos. So this is our photo here. Actually, let me just check the documentation, see how hard it would be for file storage, drop zone. Oh, Turbo has an upload file function. Oh, this will make it significantly easier. Okay, so what we're going to do is give them a way to basically drop in some files. So button upload. So we want them to upload the file directly client side. So it goes straight to the CDN, and we get a callback. And just trying to think how I want to do this. I'm going to come back on this one because I'm just trying to think of how I want to do it the best way. Because if we do it client side like that, we also can lose our lose our association to the form, if that makes sense. So I just have to think of the best way to do this one. So for now though, I just want to go to just to show you how to use the CDN. Grab one of these tags here, and I'm going to update one of these, and I just want to put. Actually, I'm gonna put that tag as a field, and for now we're gonna cheat and just put in the string, and then we'll decide how we want to handle adding the photos. So I have an idea, but let's just start one step at a time. Alright, so we go back to here, apartment edit.mustache. Now we don't actually have a image field, so I'm curious as to how we want to do that. And what I'm thinking is that we need a separate model for our images, and then that model will be associated with our apartments. And the one thing is for the images, I'm trying to, basically our form here is submitting to one endpoint, and I'm trying to decide if we bring in our images, how do we want to handle that. So what I think I'm going to do is make a very complex, the route we're using, make it more complex and do some more action on the back end, so it's one point we're posting to, and then yeah, I'm gonna give that a try. So okay, save changes. So first, just to get it working, let's just do this. Input type equals text, name equals so I'm going to just post it uh, to the apartment endpoint, which is what we're not going to end up using. And I'm just going to use that just to post it there, get the styling in, see how it, make sure it looks good. And then I think in the next video I'll cut it off because that'll actually be a pretty good one. We're going to work on like, you know, sending off 10 images to the server and rendering all of them. And it's going to be a little complex, but it'll be, I think it'll be good. And we can give them different tags, you know, which one's the cover image, this and that. So I think that's what's going to happen here. Okay, so input type equals text, name equals, I'm just going to call this main. We do need one like main image or like thumbnail type thing, so that's actually not a bad idea because the that would actually work well. Value equals, so remember I'm just cheating here is my point. So just to make, I want to update this one image to have this value real quick. So, and sorry I'm a little all over the place. I'm just trying to think the best way to handle things in the current framework, if that makes sense. So if I update any of these, it should tie that image tag to it. So if I come in here, we have this field here, and I save these changes. We can go back to Turbo. I don't see it here yet. Put type name equals main image. I wonder if we're able to add new parameters to our, well, you know how we would know? Let's, if we get rid of this and we'd say give us the main image and something shows up, we know it was created. So, because there's also a really long string, rank is just not showing up in the dashboard. Let's go back. Oh, I gotta remember which form it was now. So if this is it, it's populating. So it actually worked, which is cool because I just got rid of that value and moved it to here. So it is working. We're just not seeing it in the dashboard, also because it's a gigantic string. But if we, again, remember, all our forms are being pre-populated by the logic right here. So we can come in here, and if I type this, yep, so cool. That's pretty neat. So now we have an image associated. Let's just touch up our logic a little, and just to kind of make things more fun, we can go back to our theme quick and look for, I wonder if they have, let's see what elements they have. Colors, fonts, image background, no. Just want something like fun with the image, so give me a second. What is a light box? It's not bad. Maybe something like this, and then what we could do is they can have the option to edit it. You know what I mean? Um, I just think if we go too far into like editing all the images and stuff, we could lose like 3 videos on there. But I kind of like this. So for now, let's just do this, or let's take this one. Display image done there. Okay, let's just take this image here, and for the edit form, well, now we're going to have to wrap this in like a div. And div. What I think I'm going to do is have the image on the left and the data on the right. Let's try that real quick. So we're going to add to 12 for Bootstrap. So I'm going to try like 5 and 7. I do a lot just to see how that looks. So this is going to be our 5. This is going to be our 7. Small. Wait, small 5, 7, form, close div. Okay, that should be spaced right. Here for aref on it, let's do full size. I'm just gonna put the same image in for now because I don't really. We can worry out sizing it after. And it's called main image. Also, we may need to check that I have loaded any proper JavaScripts required. That I'm not positive on. Is this one? Oh, that actually looks pretty good. And it works. All right, cool. So, where do I X this out though? I'm pretty sure they in there had a place to exit out. There's still right there. So where's my X? Where is it? Wonder if like somehow. Okay, so one issue here is that for the ones that are missing, we kind of want some default like missing image picture. And also, I don't know why my X isn't here. Let's just first take care of this default issue. Now this is kind of standard, I think, something like this. Let's see. So I'm just going to upload this. And go to turbo. Okay, I have an idea, actually. This will be kind of sweet. Let me just expand this back out. Data store. Okay, I think what we can do is make that a default in the route handler. I was just kind of thinking for a second how I want to do this. Let's go to our desktop. Or did I just download this? Uh-oh, I don't know what's going on here. Okay, so what I want to do is get this link here. And I want to go back to our data store. Let's see. So if I guess it's null on the other ones, so we can't come in here and edit it. So what I'm going to do real quick to take care of that issue, to kind of clean our data, is going to go to our route file and department ID, update entity. I'm going to just kind of cheat a little and just cover these up real quick. And then first, where here it says new apartment, I'm just going to pass in as a placeholder this string, that missing image thing. And what I'm going to do is come back to, let's see which ones don't. Apartment ID. So that one has one. This one doesn't. Oh, well, that's for the create form. That's why. These ones are missing though. So I want to just hit save here. Oh, ID is not defined. So we do need that ID. Apartment ID. So we're just trying to change that one attribute. So I refresh here, save these changes. Come back. Now we got an image. Do the same here. All right. This one's missing too. Oh, this stupid thing. So this is like messing around before, trying to put in some stuff to show how to update the dashboard. I don't remember if it was this video or something else. And this became 300, but our input is locking it to 10, so it's giving us this stupid error message. I can't decide it's quicker just to click through all these, or if to click through all these, or just do something like we're doing there and just change the data, but I'm almost there. Anyway, though, so you see how we're just kind of cheating to fill in the images to clean our data. And then what we're going to do is make a default so that if image doesn't exist to do this. So next time we create the apartment, we don't have that issue. And I'll do that real quick. I'm also just trying to distract you while I try to click through this thing. All right. So that's good. That's good. Yep, so we have all our image placeholders there. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to say and this should be in like a config file because it's just like equivalent, like almost like a. I'm just gonna put it up here for now. Like we don't want to keep typing out. Config. So what we're gonna do here is gonna say if new apartment dot main image, so, or if no main image, I'm going to say new apartment dot main image equals config dot, I call it missing image. Yeah, okay. So we're just trying to pre-pad that before we sent it off. So we cleaned our data, created a new one. Let's go back here. And to test it, let's make a new apartment right here. 2, 2, no. If you guys haven't noticed by now, I cannot spell at all. Let's create that. Come back down. And I'll put it on top now. So that didn't work. So why did that not work? Alternatively, I could have just not reloaded and it was working. Okay, so I'm doing something really stupid. Well, we can leave it here. We also have to put it in our one where we're actually creating the apartments. It's called here. We're calling it params. I'm going to say params dot main image. So one more try. Come in here. Well, this we want to update. So let's see if that worked. Why isn't our update one working now? Hold on. Check my console. Probably something stupid I'm doing. Config that missing. Have somehow lost part of the string? No. How big equals that? Sorry guys, just trying to figure out what is going on here. Let's check if our new creation one works or not either. So the new creation works, which is what we were working on, but why doesn't the edit work here? It's only for this one for some reason. It's really weird. Apparently that one we created is giving us the issue. Everyone else is fine. See if I make a new one, it's working. And even if I go in here and manually add it, just for some reason it's just not going through. Well, sounds like a mystery for the next video. I'm gonna close this off. So basically, though, we took a like basically just some raw text, and now we're rendering everything to these pre-formatted forms, so the user can go in and update their data. And it's a pretty good UI. And we're adding images. And next video, we're gonna work on login and adding multiple images and how we want to handle that. And maybe I'll find out what's wrong with this one bad apartment here. All right. See you later.